The nature of the universe can be grasped if you know the language of the inanimate, every form, how it is made, you bring your whole system to a certain level of stillness, not being in a hyperventilated state, then your perception goes on increasing. Then you begin to understand various reverberations that are happening around you. All the subsonic sounds in which the animals are communicating becomes very obvious to you. These are referred to as different dimensions of stillness. How can stillness be of different dimensions? For example, in our experience, if you're… normally a human being is breathing somewhere 12 to 15 times per minute. Breath is very directly connected to how the mental fluctuations happen. I don't know if science has explored this, but in our experience it's very much there. Suppose naturally, not by effort, by doing the right kind of things with your system, naturally if your breath drops below 11, then you begin to understand various reverberations that are happening around you in terms of all the subsonic sounds in which the animals are communicating becomes very obvious to you. If your breath drops below 9, naturally, without controlling it, then what the plants are exuding, the plant life, what it is doing, becomes very obvious to you. If your breath drops below 6, then what the inanimate things, how they're reverberating, this is known as ritambara prajna. That means the reverberations of every form and the sounds attached to it become very clear to you. Or in other words, the nature of the universe can be grasped if you know the language of the inanimate, every form, how it is made, what is its nature, what it is right now and what it will evolve into, or what it was yesterday and what it is evolved into, all this is becoming apparent to you. As the concerns of survival recede, human beings will naturally evolve into perceiving higher things. But the important thing is the level of static, because breath is a survival process. If you sit still, it goes down. The more still your body becomes, the less you breathe. If you bring your whole system to a certain level of stillness, not being in a hyperventilated state, then your perception goes on increasing. So as the stillness deepens, these are referred to as, traditionally there are various ways in which it is presented. It is usually called as it's called Rudra, Hara and Sadashiva. One is still, but he's vibrant, he's roaring. Another is still, but he's in activity still. Another is absolutely still. Now, always that which is absolutely still is referred to be as the ultimate intelligence. Everything else, in its anxiety to be active, it is sacrificing its intelligence at a certain level to be in a state of action. But that which is absolutely still is considered the highest intelligence. It is only in Eastern mysticism, the source of creation is been always celebrated as the highest intelligence. This is the biggest mistake I think modern societies have made is, people were told God is compassion, God is love, God is generosity. These things mean something to you only when you don't have them. If you're not loved, you will look up, God should love you. If you're not fed well, you want a generous God. If you are down in some way, you want a compassionate God. But if you don't make any assumptions, if you look at a blade of grass, if you look at a flower, if you just look at the structure of an atom, one thing is, the source of creation is the highest level of intelligence that you can ever recognize anywhere. If you look at the creation, it is smack with intelligence all over the place. If we had only told people God is intelligence, we would have had a more sensible world, that's what I'm thinking and that's what I'm trying to bring it into people's experience, that the source of creation is the intelligence. If you recognize that, you try to emulate that.